Hello and welcome to my September reset. I cannot believe that we are about to launch into a new season, a new month, and that it's already September. I'm going to be talking through some of August and how I did with those goals, which I really don't think was that great, and then chatting through some of my September goals, just all the vibes that I'm feeling for fall. I'm going to talk about some of my favorite books from this month, and yeah, it should be a really fun video and time together. If you're new here, hello, my name is Molly. I am so happy you are here. I'm a content creator in Austin, Texas, and I primarily talk about running all over on Instagram, and my YouTube is about all of the things that I love in addition to running. So I chat about running, reading, Disney, life in my 30s, organization, goal setting, all of that stuff. So if those are things that you are interested in, I would love it if you subscribe. And also, in case you are new here, I'm filming in our apartment common area. Hopefully no one walks in during this, but our apartment is 400 square feet and it is just not super conducive or ideal for filming. It just, honestly, when we moved into it to save money, which I'm really glad that we did, but the 400 square feet is really starting to cramp my style, and I don't know if we have just accumulated more stuff or what it is, but it honestly is just like stressing me out in there, and I just feel like it doesn't, I don't know, I just don't love the way that it looks, and so it kind of just stresses me out to film in there a little bit. Obviously I film in there when I'm doing vlogs and whatnot, but for these sit down videos, I just feel like it makes a little more sense to have a less cluttered background. So this is not where we live. I mean, it is where we live, it's our apartment, but sometimes I've been asked if this is our home in the background, and it is definitely not. I think you might even be able to see the exit sign in this video, but yeah, just wanted to share that background. So I first wanted to chat through August, and then also just quickly chat through my goals and whether or not I accomplished them. Like I said, I really don't think I did, and honestly that's because I don't know, I've just been in a bit of a funk. I think I've mentioned that here and there on vlogs, and definitely have mentioned my job situation, and truthfully I think that is really just starting to weigh on me. And as everyone knows, obviously your job is such a big part of your days, and while it's not who you are, what you do is such a huge part of identity and just how you fill your time too. And so right now in this weird season where I'm, trying to learn new skills and market those and also look for a job, I just feel like it has left me feeling just very funky. There's no other way to put it besides I feel funky. And some days I feel like I have super low energy, other days I feel really motivated. And I think the hard part about also doing content is that there's always technically things that I could be doing. The emails never end. I could be doing blog posts, I could be doing more YouTube videos, all this stuff, but I don't always have that motivation to go and do that. So yeah, I think that's why August was just a weird month, because I feel like my mental headspace these days has just kind of been a little all over the place and not really where I want it to be. So I'm working on that, but yeah, that's just a little chat about August and where I'm at. Let's just dive right into August goals, starting with the finance goals. Wanted to book and pay off any upcoming fall trips that we have. And honestly, we really don't have that many trips for the fall. I feel like the fall just starts to be a very busy time. I feel like the month of October and May, which is funny because those are our birthday months, always end up being the busiest months in terms of activities and whatnot. So we're doing a birthday trip for Dom in October. Shocker, we're going to Disney. Cannot wait. I'm so sorry if you are someone here who doesn't enjoy the Disney vlogs, because that just means more Disney content will be coming. But we're doing that for his birthday. We're headed to Arkansas for a couple days in October as well. And besides that, I don't think we have any trips. I guess stuff can always pop up, but yeah, we don't really plan on traveling too much. And with that being said, we did go ahead and book and pay off the things that we have for that. So we have flights, hotels, all that good stuff. We've got it done. And then another quick thing was, had just wanted to get our hotel for our Disney race weekend in February. We're doing the Disney Princess Half Marathon, and I knew those prices for the hotels would probably shoot up if we don't get it. So we went ahead, booked that, and paid the half price deposit of that. So I'm glad we got that done. And lastly, we wanted to stop door dashing. Did we stop? No, we did not. Did we do way less than what we had done in months prior? Yes. So Can I check it off? I don't think so. However, that is a big win for me. For personal, I have mentioned that I've been learning web design and I really wanted to book 2 clients. And as of today, when I'm filming this, I have not. I have booked 1, which is still like a win. And I'm still just trying to figure out like how to market that I offer that, because I can talk about it on Instagram and like that's where I will be talking about it. But since that's like not what my content on Instagram is, it just feels to like constantly be promoting it there. But I know when you start a new business, you need to constantly be promoting it. So I don't know, I'm feeling just kind of like weird about where to actually like market that I have these skills and I've been learning these skills and I want to build websites for other creators. So there's that. I'm excited about the 1 client, and honestly I think her website is, I've done a handful of websites now, just because I've been learning with like friends and whatnot, but I think her website is my favorite that I've done for anyone. Like I am so obsessed with it. I also wanted to make my own website for web design, so I did that. It's nothing crazy. I kind of spent more energy just working on the websites that I was building for friends and whatnot, but I'm glad I do have that and got that done. Wanted to finish my Disney series, which also just finished that in the nick of time. Kind of took me longer than I wanted it to or expected it to edit them, just because like I said, my head was just kind of all over the place and I didn't always have the energy in me to comb through all of the videos that we took. But truly am just so thankful that we decided to vlog that trip. Like we have had so much fun watching all of the footage back and just like putting them together. So I'm really glad we did that. I also wanted to reestablish my morning routine. I feel like I was better about waking up like when I wanted to this month, but I didn't really establish like a routine that I want. And I feel like it's just because I'm so like all over the place with my days, and so that's definitely something that I want to make a goal again this month. And we wanted to have 4 date nights, which we did. We try and go on walks like a couple times a week, but wanted to be just like more intentional about like getting dressed up and going somewhere. So we went to some really good restaurants and had some really great quality time, which we are both really thankful for. I also wanted to look into like the brick or the arrow box for just like keeping our phones away. But honestly, I feel like at night it's really not that much of an issue for us, so I ended up never looking into it. I might still want to. I just like do I really want to pay for that when really all it takes is like putting my phone away? And I've mentioned like Dom's really good at that, and so I think when he puts his away, I just need to do that too. For health goals, I wanted to stop procrastinating and actually like be on top of meal planning and groceries, and I feel like we did so much better this month, so I am gonna cross that off. Yes, we still DoorDash, but like honestly we just like made so much improvement in this area and it felt really good. I also wanted to maintain strength training 3 times a week and also keep up with my PT exercises, and I did both of those, so I would say it was a great month in terms of those goals. So that's it for the goals, and last month I just completely forgot about reviewing some of the budget with you guys, and I had been so excited about doing that, and when I was editing the video I was like, wait a second, I said I was gonna do that, and then I just like completely forgot to do that. So I made a note to make sure that I do that for this video. So I have my budget up here, and I've mentioned this before. I really, honestly, some of my favorite videos are people who are like in depth and just super transparent about their money routine. Like I will watch any weekly, monthly, annual money routine video there is, because I just find it so interesting. I just don't feel safe with putting all of those numbers out there. And so this really isn't like super specific, but I do feel like it's kind of fun just to look through like where we spent the most money. And no surprise, travel was by far our biggest category. That not by far, only 7% more than health. But wow, we spent a lot in travel just because we paid off, like I mentioned, like hotels and flights for upcoming trips, and also for Dom's birthday trip to Disney. I am planning some really fun activities and they're just like a little bit expensive, so that is why travel was so big this month. It was a huge expense. Almost 30% of what we spent this month was travel. So wow. And if you're wondering why I'm looking to the side, it's because I have like our budget right here. And then health was also a really big category. I know some of y'all are probably gonna laugh because I put the Botox under health because I just like didn't know what else to put it under. So like it's not necessarily health, but anytime I buy any type of like skincare products, which I'm pretty good about buying them like when we need them. I don't like stockpile a bunch of skincare products just to try them. So typically any of that stuff, any of our supplements, like all of that stuff, I kind of just like lump into health because I don't really know what else to call it. So the Botox is a big reason that health was so much this past month. And then I also had an unexpected bill from my gynecologist that was a little over $200. So had that in there as well. So that's why that category was so expensive this past month. And I'm super happy to see on this that we spent almost double on groceries than we did on eating out. I will say overall, like, we just spend a lot on food. We love to try places in Austin, but I'm really happy to see that we spent more on groceries, more than we did eating out, just because that is more like in line, I think, with like our values and how we want to spend money. Like, seeing that we spent the most on travel, I'm like, yeah, that adds up. And truthfully, that's like how right now in this season of life, that's how we want it to be. So that's good. That is just a quick little overview of our budget and how we did this past month. Let me know if you liked this section or if there's something else you wish I would add to it or like talk about more, because like I said, those are like some of my favorite videos to watch when people talk about like money dynamics within their household or with themselves or whatever it is. So yeah, let me know if you're interested in this. Let's get into our September goals, and honestly, I really don't have that many, and that's because knowing that August was just like, wasn't necessarily rough, but just wasn't my best month. I know at the end of in the last reset video, I also said that my job stuff was going to be like a big focus, and don't have really any big updates on that front, but I just know it needs to be another big focus for me this month. So that's really why I don't have too many like other goals outside of figuring all of that out, just because I know like finding a job and figuring all that out takes a long time, but I just like really don't want to start 2025 without having job stuff figured out. So it's definitely going to be another focus for me, and that's why I'm not going to have like too many other crazy goals. For the finance category, needed to pay quarterly taxes. I wrote that down one so I don't forget, and two, because sometimes in the past I just like we've moved every single year, and so I feel like sometimes like getting the right information to be able to log into my account, like sometimes I'm locked out of my account because I couldn't remember what like address we were at. I don't know. If you pay quarterly taxes, you probably know what I'm talking about, and if not, you're like, what are you talking about? Yeah, just want to make sure I'm staying on top of that as a business owner. Then the next one is, I didn't really know what to say, but I do think I want to learn another new skill, like in addition to web design, that I could potentially offer if I do decide to stay freelance. And then I also want to keep hunting for a job, and if there's something that feels like the right fit. I'll be honest, I'm really not seeing that much out there, and if I see something that looks interesting, the pay is like literally half of what I like was making at my last job, and I just don't think I can do that. So I definitely know I need to work on like expectations for what this next job could potentially be and what the pay could be, because I feel like I had it great with my last job. It was work from home, it was pretty relaxed, it was good pay, it was what I wanted to be doing. And now I just feel like when I'm looking at jobs, I'm like, there's nothing like that. Like, I'm never gonna be able to find anything like that. So I know I really need to manage my expectations, but I also just don't want to apply for something knowing that like I'm gonna be upset with half the work I'm doing, or like mad that I'm not getting paid what I deserve. So yeah, there's just a lot to it. Oh, the sky looks so pretty right now. Okay, for personal goals, I was listening to a podcast recently, the Liz Moody podcast. Love her podcast, love her. She has great like tangible tips, but she was talking about like this novelty idea or novelty rule, and I probably should go back and listen again, but essentially like how important it is to be doing new things every single month and smaller new things like every single week. And so Dom and I want to implement this like novelty idea at least one date each month where it's something like entirely new. So we want to plan a novelty like date or outing for us in September. I have no idea what we're gonna plan, but it should be really fun. And I just like love the idea of making sure that you are continuing to add like new things to your life. I also want to sign up for the 100-mile race that I am training for and hoping to do in February. There has been like the scared part of me that hasn't signed up for it, just because I'm scared like I will fail or that I won't be able to do it, just because 100 miles really is like an insane distance. And so I think the like nervousness in me, like, because it's like, I mean, at least $150 to sign up for it. Like, something has been like, oh, just wait. And then I've realized recently that like that is still like trickling into my beliefs about like whether or not I'm going to be able to do it. And like, yes, it is still really far. I mean, it's not as far away as it once was, but it is still far away. But I know I need to already be like talking positively to myself about being able to run that distance, just because like your mentality in those races is, quite frankly, it is everything. And then I really want to try a new like crafty activity. I don't exactly know what, but I keep seeing more about needlepoint, which I'm not sure if I would like. I, used to knit like when I was like 13 years old. So it's been, over 15 years since I've knitted, but I'm intrigued by knitting. I've also been seeing more with just like clay and like things you can make, like cute little things you can make with clay. So I don't know exactly what, but I know I want to try something new in regards to like creativity and crafting. I feel like the hard part is like, sometimes I get so overwhelmed because I have so many fun hobbies that I want to spend my time doing. Like a lot of the times it's reading, obviously, because I love to read, and especially like, it is still hot as heck in Austin, but as we get into like cooler weather and cooler months, I just like want to be at home even more just reading. But there's like reading I want to do. I want to go on more walks. I want to like play more like cozy video games. I want to do more puzzles. I want to play more board games. I want to play more card games. Like there's just all these things that I want to do, and I sometimes get overwhelmed because I'm like, there's just not enough time for all of this. But I know that a new crafty activity is something I want to prioritize this month. And then for health, I really need to get my blood work done. I don't know if it's just like because my mental health hasn't been like at the best that it's been, but I have just been feeling so tired and just like sluggish, and so I really want to go and test for a lot of things, especially as I'm like getting into training with running. Just really want to make sure that everything is where it needs to be and see if I need to start like adding any supplements that I'm not already taking. So definitely want to get that done this month. I also really want to work on staying off my phone in the morning and at night, and I think that honestly is probably the biggest issue with my morning routine, is that I wake up by like looking at my phone, just because it obviously gives you like the dopamine, the light from your phone wakes you up, all of that stuff. And so I really just want to be better about not getting on my phone first thing in the morning, and also not, it's not even that I'm like scrolling at night. I don't even know what I'm doing on my phone, but I have a tendency, just like, it's like the procrastination you do at night when you're so tired and you don't want to get ready for bed, so then you just grab your phone. That is what I have been falling prey to recently, and it's got to stop. These have been my goals for like the past few months, but just want to make sure I'm maintaining strength training and physical therapy for my foot and plantar fasciitis. Just want to make sure I am, keeping up with those as my routine just like continues to evolve. Those are things that I want to stay. I will say I have still been doing the strength training 3 times a week. Definitely not as long as I was a couple months ago, and that is because I've been like so tired. I feel like I don't have like 30 minutes in me 3 times a week to do strength training, but proud of myself for even literally just 10 minutes 3 times a week. I feel like it does make a difference, and even just in 10 minutes I've still been sore like every single time following. So that probably just means I'm weak. Honestly, more than anything, it means I'm weak, and so anything I do like will make a difference. But yeah, I just want to keep up with those. So that is it for my goals for September. I think in next month's reset video, we'll make like a fall bucket list together. I contemplated doing that for this one, but like I said, it is literally still so hot here in Austin. Like it doesn't quite feel like it's not still fall, right? It's not officially fall until like the end of September, but yeah, it just doesn't, I'm not quite ready for all of the fall like thinking and activities yet. So we are going to hold off on a fall bucket list, but that will definitely be in the next video. I also do a separate reading video that I will have up next week, where I'm talking about my August books that I read and then my September TBR. And I know not everyone wants to just listen to books for 25 minutes, but they still enjoy like the highlights. So I wanted to quickly talk about some of my favorite books. So I read 8 books this month. A lot of them were by authors that I have already read their other books and I loved them, and I was really looking forward to them. So honestly, the top 3 books that I read this month are all authors that I already knew, that I loved their other books, and thank goodness they're new books or just books that I hadn't read yet. Totally lived up to the hype for me. First one is by Courtney Walsh. I'm obsessed with her. She makes just the most perfect romance books. I love her characters. They are no spice, like don't stress you out or don't get annoyed with like how the plot is going along. But she wrote The Summer of Yes. And so if you are still looking for 1 or 2 more summer reads, it's only 1, so I don't know why I said 1 or 2. But if you are still looking for another summer read, I definitely recommend this one. It was just so fun and was just so, I don't know, just like encouraging. It's always so, makes me feel like so optimistic and excited when I'm reading about other people like putting themselves out there and like saying yes to things. And that's exactly like what the premise of this book was, like the summer of yes, saying yes to things you wouldn't normally. And so yeah, it was just really lovely and I loved reading it and truly love Courtney's writing. The next one I have mentioned in most of my previous reading vlogs because it has been on my list for a while, but I read How to Age Disgracefully by Claire Pooley. It will probably be a top contender for one of my favorite books that I read all year. I've realized a lot of my favorite books involve like people of all different ages just because I love getting perspectives in books from older people, younger people, people my age. And this one, I genuinely like could not have loved it more. So if you also enjoy books where there are characters of all different ages, it was just like a literary fiction book and the main character thought she was so hilarious. I think she's like in her 80s, just like so fabulous. Loved it. Highly recommend. The last one was Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. I had read When in Rome, I think at the end of last year, and it was one of my favorite books that I read. It was 5 stars. So I don't know why it took me so long to read Practice Makes Perfect, but I realized I hadn't read it and was like, what have I been doing? So read it, loved it. Books are also low spice, which is what I prefer. I'm fine with spice. I'll usually just like skim through it just because it's not really what I'm interested in, but I love books where, you know, you can just like insinuate yourself like what is happening. And so yeah, that one was just like so fun. I really related with the main character and really loved it. So I highly, highly, highly recommend, honestly, all 3 of those books. They were so good. And I literally, like, my stack of books that I want to read is just growing by the minute because there are so many good books out there. I think I'm going to wrap this video up here. I know in the past I've been doing monthly favorites and I just like can't decide if that's something that people, I don't know, like if you enjoy it, let me know. I just like can't decide if it's something that's like annoying or if it's actually like fun and helpful to see what I'm enjoying. I will say I have this new chapstick with me and it took like, I think like 3 months to get, so it took a very long time, but this is probably my new favorite chapstick. So if you were like a lip products girly, this will be my favorite product for the month and I'll leave it at that. I don't know how you say it, like EDM or Edim? I have no idea, but really love it. And yeah, let me know what you think of these videos. If there are things you want me to talk about more, talk about less, add in, take out, whatever. I am all ears. These videos are for y'all. I do really love doing them and it helps me just to like set goals and reflect, but I want y'all to enjoy them too. So if you enjoy these, definitely let me know what would make you enjoy it even more. But I am just so grateful you're here. I so appreciate you watching and I will see you next time.